Chronological Bible in a Year, Day 278. Today, we are continuing in the early life of Jesus, and we are at the beginning of his ministry. We saw yesterday Jesus get baptized, and today we're seeing Jesus be tempted. Using Matthew 4 as our guide, in verse 3, we see the first temptation. If you are the Son of God, command these stones to become bread. Now, Jesus was 40 days without food. I struggle to go like 40 minutes. But his response, rather than to comply with Satan's temptation, was to respond, "Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes out of the mouth of God." Now, here's what's really important. The words Jesus just said proceeded from the mouth of God. Not only in that they came from Jesus' mouth, but he was quoting Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3, as God reminded the Israelites how he gave them manna as they wandered through the wilderness away from Egypt towards what would become Israel. Then Satan says, "I see how it is. You're going to quote scripture at me. Two can play that game." So then the second temptation comes in verse 6. "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will give his angels orders concerning you. And on their hands they will lift you up so that you do not strike your foot against stone." Now, the devil is tempting Jesus by using scripture. He's quoting Psalm 91. Jesus doesn't give in. He doesn't let scripture be used, weaponized wrongly. Instead, he responds in verse 7, "It is written, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test." Again, quoting Deuteronomy. But then the devil turns to a third tactic. People want a king. Perhaps Jesus wants to be king. And so the third temptation, he takes Jesus to a high mountain. He shows him all the kingdoms of the earth. And he says, "All these things I will give you if you fall down and worship me." Now, if Jesus complied, he would have been the Messiah the people were expecting. But God's plan was not the devil's plan, is not our plan. That wasn't the king Christ was ever meant to be. And so Jesus responds in verse 10, "Go away, Satan, for it is written, you shall worship the Lord your God and serve him only." Again, quoting Deuteronomy, this time 6:13 and 10:20. Deuteronomy, defeating the devil. Be in scripture, so when we're tempted, we can use scripture to overcome that temptation. I would love to hear, what are some techniques you have found that help you fight sin? Ways that you've overcome temptation to pursue holiness and righteousness. I'm looking forward to continuing in the ministry of Jesus tomorrow. But until then, God bless.